Yes, indeed, folks. Listen to Blue Please here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. Main server maxed out. Mirror server reaching capacity. Tiny chat is full. We're going to need a bigger boat. Okay, so let's get on with it, shall we? We'll try to at any rate. Suffering so very much. Last thing you want to hear is me blowing my nose on air. Whatever the case, let's try it. Let's get on with it. I want to talk about Tol Barad for a bit, why not? I put out a series of videos about Tol Barad. I'd like to talk to you in retrospective about that particular PvP area. Just a lot of things I didn't get to say in the video. If you want to see the series, it's available on my website. CynicalBrit.com is a place to go. It's one of the latest posts up there. It's called Tol Barad Preview Series. There's 3 videos there. There's one of the Fire Mage PvP spec. There's one that's like a tour of the Daily Quest Hub and a little bit of a battle. And then there's like a full-length battle at the end. So, lots of content there. I like to be... If you haven't guessed already, I don't do things half-arsed because I think it sucks. I had a guy, actually... you'll enjoy this very much, because I certainly did. I can't remember his name, because it doesn't matter. I think it was called... what was he? Polar Bear? Hybrid Polar Bear? Something like that? I can't remember, you know. So many scrubs these days, they try to blur into each other, whatever the case. And he's going on saying, Total Biscuit cares about nothing but the money. He doesn't care about his fans at all. Like... I've had quite a few people say, you don't respect your fans. Well, let me just tell you this. There are 2 kinds of respect. Yeah? There's the proper kind of respect, and there's the respect that children like. The respect that children like is called pat on the head and here's a sweetie. That is that definition of respect. That's the whole, guys, I'm so happy you're listening to my show. Hey! You guys are amazing. That is the pat on the head and give them a sweetie kind of respect. You know what? You are not 5 years old. You don't deal well with that. I don't need to thank you for listening to the show. You are not 5 years old. You don't need merit badges for doing so. You don't need achievement points. You don't need me to give you a piece of cake as much as you would love to. The cake is not true. Whatever the case, real respect, when it comes to media, real respect is giving your viewers a consistent, regular, high-quality, well-edited product that is done to the very best of your ability. Every single video should be your greatest video, and then you should look back at that video and say, that video sucks, my next one's going to be even better. Why? Because I give a damn about you. And everybody else that watches, the guys who aren't listening to the show, the guys who are, the guys who might watch my videos in future, the guys who might not, even if there's a tiny little possibility that you'll watch my stuff in future, it will be the best stuff you will frickin' ever see. Why? Because that is what is called respect. Respect for the media and respect for the medium, as well as respect for the audience. And that's how you do it. And a freaking hybrid polar bear wants to say otherwise. Guys, it's so awesome. Here's my 10-minute Tol Barad video with my 4 retarded freaking Down syndrome vent mates trying so desperately to be funny through $5 freaking Walmart headsets. I'm so great. I beat Total Biscuit to the punch with this terrible freaking video. And then I have the balls to go on MMO Champion, the place where I'm a moderator, la-di-da. Shaman moderator in training. I'm terrified. Shaman moderator in training. He might use a searing totem. And he has the balls to go on there and say to me, you don't respect your fans. And I laughed so hard. You have no idea. I'm not just talking about those ha-ha or ha-ha-ha. I'm talking about those big belly laughs. Knee-slapping folk metal laughs at anyone that could dare have the testicular fortitude, or more likely, the mental disability to think that. Respect. Shove your 5-year-old version of respect up your ass. Children and amateurs. You wonder why nobody respects gaming media? I'll tell you why nobody respects gaming media. Because of people like that. Let's be nice to each other. Nah. Here's an idea. How did every single other medium get good? Competition. How does the free market work? Competition. How does every economy in the world that isn't some backwards, ridiculous society work? Competition. I'll be better than that guy. I'll be better than that guy. Better, improvement, consistent improvement. Quality. That's respect. That's respect for the viewer, the consumer. People like that make me sick. And I do mean make me sick. They're an embarrassment to me as a gamer. They should be an embarrassment to you as a gamer. You should hate these people. You want to know why you should hate these people? Because the rest of the world looks at you like an idiot. They think you're a child because people that have some tiny platform, you know, they get it. It's so hilarious when people call me arrogant. I've got to tell you this. It's hilarious. I am an arrogant bastard. You want to know why? Because it's bloody justified. Because I worked my ass off for 12 years to be good at what I do. That's why I get a paycheck every month. That's why I can do this as a job and not as a hobby. That's why I'm not in an office 9 to 5 or flipping burgers. Because I worked and I respected the medium. It makes me laugh so hard when people like that have the balls to call me arrogant. The arrogance of it is to assume that you, just because you put out some crappy video on the internet, deserve attention. That is arrogance. It's arrogance to assume that your viewers will accept any old crap just because you're on the internet and you make videos and they're not in the beta, so your videos must be awesome. No, no, no. No, they're not. Your videos suck. You want to know why my videos get more views? Because they're better than yours. You want more views than me? Make better videos. You can't, can you? Because, I've been around for a year and a half. Why don't people pay attention to me? A year and a half? Come back to me when you've got another decade under your belt. Work your arse off. Embrace competition. Respect the medium. And then, just then, maybe it will respect you. For the meantime, however, go to hell. Anyway, Tolbarad. So, Tolbarad, ladies and gentlemen. Let me talk to you about it. So, Tolbarad. The idea of Tolbarad is you've got these 3 points, and the defenders have to defend the 3 points, and the attackers have to capture the 3 points. The defenders spawn in a thing in the middle, which they have to jump off of, which for some reason only has a 10-second slow-falling buff. So, I've, been hit for 12k. 12k! I jump off that thing. 12k! Whoopity-doo! I just lost half my health! Awesome! That's wonderful! Oh dear, that needs changing. Whatever the case, you gotta defend this 3 points, so... It's not really like Wintergrasp per se, because Wintergrasp is more of, you've got to defend the door, and you've got to defend it mostly from siege engines, not just from guys. Here, if you hated siege engines, you're gonna love Tolbarad, because there's barely any of them. The siege engines are there solely for knocking down towers, which will extend your time attacking. And that's it. There's only 3 towers. Once they're knocked down, you get about 10 minutes extra for knocking down the 3. That's it. So, you look at a longest length of about 40 minutes. Now, this dungeon, this battle area is attached to a PvP hub, and it's attached to a daily questing hub. So, once you take that area out, you're going to be able to do daily quests not only, and this is being confirmed today, by the way, I can read you the quote, it's pretty neat. I'll get that for you right now. You'll be able to do quests in Tolbarad in a dedicated daily questing hub that's set up for level 85. So, the Isle of Keldernas, you remember that? Yeah, it's like that. Only it's attached to a PvP zone. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't be able to daily quest there if you don't own Tolbarad, that's not true. What you will get, if you own Tolbarad, you'll get bonuses. So you get better quests if you own it. You know, kind of like, you know how Nagrand was, where you owned, what was it, Hala, or whatever? Hala Akbar, I can't remember what it's called. That thing in the middle, if you owned that, you would get, like, some bonuses. Kind of like that, only not terrible. So, you'll be able to quest not only in there, but also in the PvP area while you own it. Quote here, there are 3 micro-dungeons in the Tolbarad area. I actually showed them to you in my videos. These are not supposed to be open during battles, by the way, but they are. So, the point of these is they're supposed to be closed off during main battles. Anyone in them is going to get kicked out, and they're there to support daily questing in the zone between battles. So you're going to be able to go in these little micro-dungeons that don't look like they're instanced. They're just sort of dungeon-style areas. They're kind of interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. There's no mobs right now, and they're incomplete, but there's like a lot of terrain and cool doodads on the walls and things like that. So, yeah. That's how it goes, and it looks okay, honestly. Looks alright. It's pretty good. Daily questing never really enthused me, honestly. So, it does seem a little weird to get excited about it in any way, shape, or form. I don't think I really do get excited about that. PvP is okay. honestly, I think the best thing that happened to PvP and Cataclysm is rated Battlegrounds, because as opposed to Twitch APM, don't get me wrong, I respect people that can do high-level arena, because I'm terrible at it. Yeah, I'm useless. But I'm more of a strategic kind of thinker. Like, I used to play Savage 2 a lot, and I used to command a lot in Savage and Savage 2. And it's all about battle control and actually ordering people around. A Battleground, for instance, is kind of like a PvP area for a raid leader. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, you've got to be here at a certain time. We've got to manage our resources. Whereas in an arena, it's like, you have got to be tight, you've got to be pro, and your APM and your actual timing and your speed is going to be through the roof. Whereas in a Battleground, not so much. It's a bit more zergy. But in a rated Battleground, you're talking about actual fixed teams. That's the really important thing. You're talking about fixed teams that will be organized. They will be organized. Also, hi to Ariana, who is in the chat room right now, under the name Cynical Brit. Yes, indeed. She's using our Cynical Brit account. It's always nice to have an extra moderator in here. I can't moderate while I'm doing the show. But yeah. I like Battlegrounds more. I'm sorry, I do. It's not because they're more skillful, quite the opposite. It's because it's a different flow. It's a different feel. I like these larger battles. I suppose it's from my days of playing Battlefield 1942 that I appreciate the whole capture point and capture the flag scenarios more than an instant kill deathmatch. That's what I played more. I mean, I didn't play a lot of, say, Quake and Quake 2 online when I was younger, but one of the first games I really played an awful lot of FPS-wise online was, well, I mean, Battlefield 1942 was one of them, but it was a source mode called Firearms. It wasn't a source mode, sorry. It was a normal Half-Life mode called Firearms. And that was like capture points and stuff like that. And I preferred the slower, more strategic flow to the battle. Now, Tolbarad's a bit like that, but because you don't do fixed teams, it's way more zergy. And actually, I've got some real concerns about it in its current state. Because of the mechanics, you can you can lose 2 out of 3 of your points, and you'll be okay. If you capture, say, a defender's point, you don't get extra time like you would in, say, Team Fortress 2. It's not like that. It goes on for a set amount of time. So, actually capturing those points, there's only one purpose to that. It's to get all 3 at once. So, if you lose a point, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but in a 2 out of 3 scenario, the problem is that the real way to actually run out the clock is to have all of the defenders in one place. Dump 40 guys. I'm assuming 40 versus 40 for the time being, because I don't know better. And we've not had a full-size test in the beta right now. There's just not enough people. But you're looking at a situation where you can put 40 defenders in a choke point and say, bring it the hell on. There's no other ways in. You can guard those choke points really well. Siege engines at that point become useless. It's like, this doesn't really work very well in Wintergrasp. Because if you get like 24 siege engines, let's say you've got all of the points, you've taken everything out, and you've got full control. You roll in there with 24 siege engines, nothing is going to stop that. Nothing. Spread them out a bit so they're not vulnerable to AoE. You can't stop 24 siege engines at once, but you can stop 40 people at once. Especially if you're in a hold-up defensive position where you can get the drop on them. Now, I haven't actually attacked yet, in that I've always been defending, so I'm not 100% sure how it spawns you, but there seem to be multiple graveyards. Now, it would make sense if it spawned you as an attacker at the graveyard that was closest to the point that you were attacking. But I don't know if that's the case. In that case, you might be able to wear them down with the War of Attrition, but I'm not convinced. And what you've got is a situation where your defenders only spawn in the middle. So, you've got your one last point, say you've got the northern point, and you've got that defended. So whenever one of your defenders dies, they either have to get resurrected by a healer, which is doable, totally doable. You can get resurrected, or you can spawn in the middle. And then you get on your mount and you go there. So there's a couple of ways in, but they'll all be guarded. And the question is, you're going to have to blockade run at that point. It would be potentially possible for a attacking force to starve out the defenders and wear them down with a War of Attrition. I don't know yet. I don't know if that will actually work, because we've not seen a full-sized battle. The problem is, it really seems to me that that could be a major factor and a major issue with this PvP area. I'm not convinced by it yet. The dynamic's pretty enjoyable, but I'm not convinced that it works. I'm not convinced that it does what it says on the tin, and that it is really as effective as it should be. I think they've really got to have a look at that, and they've got to give the attacking side an advantage for owning 2 out of 3. And maybe those towers need to do something else. Maybe it's going to have a stacking buff or a stacking debuff from destroying those things. Call it a morale. Let's call it morale, shall we? So, You lose 2 out of 3 points and you lose 3 out of 3 towers. You get a stacking debuff on your character called Demoralized, which actually does damage to you or takes away some of your stats. And it gives you a reason to take them back. If you take back one of those points, give them a genuine boost. It's like, you know, rallied, second wind, kind of morale boost. Because otherwise there's no point. There is no point in going out and taking back those other 2 points. You're better off holed up in one place, sitting on the point, Dunkov, and saying, "You shall not pass." Just thought. My name is Total Biscuit. You're listening to Blue Please, here on CynicalBrit.com. I'll be right back after this, folks. Enjoy.